This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, this is Curry Gill with the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department. The tutorial I have for you today is submitting a progress report for a grant in the OPRD Grants Online system. We are in a test system for this tutorial, so you won't see the words test server anywhere on the site when you log in. So you'll log in, and the progress report is required periodically through the grant period, and if you are requesting a reimbursement request. Be sure to check your specific grant guidelines for details on what's required for those and the timelines. So when you log in, you'll look for the organization you're representing at the moment. And when you click on that organization, you will see the applications, projects, and people associated with it. Your application section is only for the applications. Once you've received the grant and the agreements are signed, the project, the grant, will appear under projects. So this is where you'll go to submit reimbursement requests and progress reports. So we'll just pick our first grant here, and you'll see here I have 2 progress reports. Sometimes you will see a notification that says that there's a progress report due. This system is set up for quarterly reports, and that may not coincide with what's required for your specific grant program, so you may not need to worry about that notification. Be sure and check your guidelines and keep up with what's required based on those guidelines. Anytime you want to do work in the online grant system, you need to click the edit button. And when you do that, you'll see the opportunity to have a new report, and you can see past reports here. These past reports, this is one that was saved but not submitted, so I could still go in and edit this one or delete it. This one has been submitted and I can only view it, I can't change it. So I want to create a new report, and that page looks like this. It's a pretty simple page. Again, anytime you want to enter new information into the online grant system, clicking edit is required, and then you'll get a save button. This will automatically fill in, and these fields with the red asterisk are ones that are required. The grant period is the most recent period of time that you're reporting. So if you already have 2 reports in and you have to report quarterly, that means I, in this example, have reported the first quarter and the second quarter, and now I'm going to report for the third quarter. So that means that I'm not going to talk about that earlier work that I already talked about in previous reports. I'm only going to talk about what most recently happened. And so the dates for that might be November 1 to today. Okay, and then describe the work. So make sure that when you're doing the progress report is only about the work that was completed. The financial information and invoices and costs and details about the financial items should be only submitted in the reimbursement request. This is where you tell us what you've done on the project and show proof of that work. So you'll need to, again, check your grant guidelines to see what is required for that documentation for that particular grant program. It may be photos, it may be sample work, it may be documentation from officials that inspect the project in some way. It just really depends on your grant program. So you can do a short description of work completed, ground cleared and concrete set. Okay, this was for a park project, so that's what we put in here. And then and so you can have a fairly lengthy description here. If you have a lot of information with some formatting or timelines or quotes and things like that, you might want to create that in a different document and upload it as an attachment. Do a short description here and say, please see attachment for more details. and I'm a fan of more information. So that's where you put that. Any problems or delays, we use this to, you know, think about your timeline, but we also use it for examples for other people to sort of give them a heads up. But if you didn't have any, you can say none. And then percentage completed, we're gonna say this is 30%. And then how much you think you're gonna spend in the next 30 days. This is just an estimate, so if it doesn't come to fruition, that's okay. It just gives us an idea for our financial purposes. So let's say $10,000. And this is the way you submit interim progress reports. If it's the final last report of the entire grant, you just click that box, and that indicates it's the final report, and we won't expect any more. So that's the first thing you do, and you want to save that work. Now, before you can submit, you will need to add attachments. So you click the edit button again, because you have saved and you need to make it editable again. And you use this to upload the files. And you check in your computer for files that are uploadable. And we're gonna just use this example, so because you might have a photo. Using the underscores or merging all the words is really helpful. Some directional words like home or go or save, like save the PT vote or something like that. Those words are things that the computer wants to do. So avoiding those words is good, but if you, in the naming, use underscores, it helps alleviate that. There are also size limitations, so if you have a giant document, you might contact your coordinator about how to submit that or break it up into smaller ones. But otherwise, we can upload all kinds of documents. So let's say this is a concrete, concrete installation, and be a little specific so we know what we're looking at. And note that this is not saved yet. So I will click save. And then it says the progress report is saved, and you'll see this file here. Now only one file is required, but at least one is required. And you can submit as many as makes sense and is required by your grant program. If you have clicked this edit and uploaded many and then click save, it can take some time to do the saving. So if you have you know, periodic breaks in your internet service, you might save more frequently. And then if you have any extra comments, something you want the grant coordinator to know, or a happy comment, or like say volunteers worked on it, but usually it's more about messaging to your coordinator any special information you want to know. But that's how you add a comment. Comments are not required. And then that is automatically saved there. You can click save again. So this kind of thing can happen. I have seen it typically happen after the comment section. So if this happens, you can go to home, go to projects, go back to that, go to your progress report, click edit, and then you can get back in there. And then when it's all ready and you have all the attachments you want, you click submit and you get that notification, and then it is submitted. So If you want tutorials on doing the reimbursement request or any of the navigation in the system or doing the application, you can find that at OregonHeritage.org and click on grants, and all of our tutorials are available there. Thanks very much.